Alrighty, how's it going, guys? Got a quick video for you today. This is something I've honestly wanted to address for a while. You know, I see people ask all the time, like ask for ponds to fish, how do they find ponds, and there's a really obvious important tool in finding these ponds that many people don't use nearly as much as they should, and a lot of tools within the actual application that people don't know about. Now, the application I'm referring to obviously is Google Earth. But it's not just Google Maps, anything like that. You need to download the actual Google Earth app to your computer, because that's going to allow you to do a lot of different things with it. See, now with Google Earth on mine, now I've toyed around with this for 3-4 years, like 3-4 years. As you can see, now I grew up in the Chicago suburbs. As you can see, I was a little busy. Oh, why are we not centered? There we go. As you can see, in high school, I was a little busy fishing ponds all around my house. There it is. There it is. I'd say I've gone to at least 75% of these pins here. And now I was blessed to live in an area like Chicago where there's a lot of ponds around myself. And anyone in a big metro area, it's going to be the same deal for you. But obviously, anyone that's fished ponds has realized most of them are pretty trash. Now, there's a lot of different ways to find out. You can't exactly tell if a pond's good or not through Google Earth, but you can tell a lot of hints. You can tell things like, you know, weed lines, bottom composition, how old the pond is, water clarity, if there's parking around, that's something big. So how I'm gonna dive into this, I'm just gonna go down to Aurora. You know, there's a bunch of ponds around Aurora. I'm just gonna go right, I literally just started clicking here, so we're gonna go look at these ponds. Now, the first thing you can do, now weed lines. These ponds don't look like they have much scum on them, but one of the big tools you can use, see down here, it's got a time thing. That's a time stamp. Now, as you can see, the date right here, the bottom corner, it has an imagery date. That's when Google Earth, that's when the picture is from. So back in 1993, this was a big farm field. Now, go up to 1998, still a farm. Now if you look at right here, this pond was made in 1998, and that would tell me that it's now 2016 obviously. That would tell me that that pond has been here for, hold on, let me do some quick math here, I swear I'm smart. Been here for 18 years. So, good possibility there's big fish in that pond. Now this one, 1999, still nothing. 2002, looks like the pond was made in 2002. So, or somewhere around 2002 at least. So also that pond, big possibility that there's fish. The reason I'm showing you this is you could show up to a pond that's got riprap around it, whatever it may be, and you have no idea how old it is. It could be 3 years, 4 years. It could have no fish in it. It could have just a bunch of dink fish. If you were like me in high school that went around looking for like big fish in ponds, I'd always look for ponds that were, I'd give it a minimum 8 to 10 years, age of pond at least. Now with this here, let me find a pond with weeds around it so I can show you the what you can also do with that time function, showing like weed lines, time of year, and water clarity. Because what happens, you can change it to a springtime month, and what happens in the spring, obviously the water's a lot clearer, so you can tell depth, a lot of things like that. Wow, I cannot find. Hold on, I'm gonna come back when I find a good pond for an example. Let me, hold on here. Okay, so I found a good pond to give an example of how you can use these tools to inspect ponds. So here we got a pond, and right off the bat you can see that it looks like there's a lot of parking right here. Looks like it's a park. There's a car right here, so you're not gonna have any trouble, people kicking you out, private parking, things like that. Now, it's showing right now that this is April 30th, so it's kind of in the springtime, but you can see the water is not clear. It's not like 3-4 foot visibility, I'd say 1 to 2 foot. So, let's say you find this pond, you want to go fish it. It's summertime, you've never been there, you want to see if it's going to be weedy or not. So, now this isn't 100% thing, because a lot of ponds, a lot of these images are going to be foggy, but all I'm going to do is I'm going to keep, okay, now look at this image from earlier in the year, and you can see down in the water right there, so you can tell the pond is kind of clear. I'd say it's probably 3 to 4 visibility, but I'm getting sidetracked. What you do is you just keep toying around and keep going back in time until you find an image that's in the summertime, or around the time frame in which you are going to be fishing that pond. See, perfect. Now this is from mid-September, and you can see there is a lot of scum and cheese on this pond. So if it's summertime, you're looking to be going there, and you want to be throwing, I don't know, a Senko would probably work here, but say you want to be throwing a crankbait. That's not going to work in this pond. Judging off what I see, I'd be throwing a frog, a Senko, a swim jig, and it might even be too thick. It might be an only frog lake. And you can keep going back in time and see how the pond changes. You know, in June, in mid-June, in 2010, it was a little bit sparser, but you can still see there's a good scum growth in the summertime. There's a great image of it. So you can see this pond gets pretty scummy. Now, I'm going to translate this more into using Google Earth for different lakes. Now, for an example's sake, I'm going to go over to an area that I know has really clear water, so this example will work well. I do a lot of fishing in Traverse City for smallmouth, so I'm going to go up to beautiful Torch Lake and show you a lot of the different things that Google Earth can show you in really clear water. Okay, so we've arrived at Torch Lake. It's just northern Michigan. It's just a beautiful lake, probably, I don't know, 30-ish visibility. But you zoom in, and you'll get better with this the more you do it, and the more you like look at an image on Google Earth and then actually go to that place. But you realize what different things look like on Google Earth. So right now we're looking at the very southwestern corner of Torch Lake, and you can see right now it's kind of obvious, but this is all sand. Okay, these little ridges, those are depressions in the sand. This, where it gets like bluish, it gets a little deeper. The darker the hue of blue, the deeper it is. So you can see right here, it's a lot deeper than it is right here, and more so right here. So the darker blue, the deeper that's gonna be. And right here, if there's a really hard line edge, like right here, that's gonna be a weed line. You can see this is all sandgrass right here, and there's a hard weed line right there. Now, that's kind of what sand looks like. Let's see if I can see right there, there's some more sandgrass. So if you're smallmouth fishing and you want to find little points, like right here, this is a bunch of sand. Like these are sand ridges with a little bit of grass on them. Looks just like sandgrass. Let's see if I can find some rock. Okay, right here. Now, smallmouth love keying on hard things and edges. Now, if I was smallmouth fishing Torch, especially in the spring, I've only fished it a couple times, not the south end. This is an area I would want to target. You see, it looks like it's sand, but then right here, okay, these are actually weeds. So this is a weed line, might have some rocks on there, might just be a rock spine, but it's some sort of spine that's holding some dark cover and some weeds. Alright, now we've shot over to Grand Traverse Bay, and I'm just going to show you again what different things look like. You see right here, this is like the eastern side of the bay. You see right here we got a deep water trench. And these are some grass lines, like right here, this is a line of grass, and then it's a darker blue to the right, so it's a little bit deeper, and then it's a lighter shade to the left, so it's going to be shallower. And I know these humps very well. This is about 8 foot on top and 15 foot on the bottom. So you can use these to kind of tell, so you can use this to tell depth, everything like that. Like this is much, if you look at Navionics, which I'll do in a little bit, all this shows is 10 foot, just flat. You can go on Google Earth and look at the depressions and look at the little details that in clear water Google Earth will show you. Now you shoot over here, you can see these are sand ridges right here. This is a line of weeds, but right here is what I'm really looking at. Now you can see it's kind of tanner. Now rocks can be kind of tricky to tell on Google Earth. This is a telltale sign because these are not weeds, and this right here, it doesn't have ridges in it. This is a big flat of rocks, and especially in the springtime when you're fishing for smallmouth, you're gonna want to find the rock and not the sand, because they're not in any of this. They're not in the blank sand. They're gonna be up on the rock. Okay, my last example is going to deal with using Navionics to help you furthermore in your search using Google Earth. Now, when I'm lake fishing, I mostly use Navionics, especially if the water is not clear, but if I'm poking around Google Earth and see something like this, for example, I see a big field of what looks to be lily pads. Now you can zoom in, get closer, and you can see, oh, I didn't want to do that. You can see the circles, and in fact that is a big lily pad field. Now what I'm gonna do is, instead of going there and finding out that it's all a half foot deep, something like that, I'm gonna pop onto navionics.com and go to their web app. Now this is free to use, and it's pretty up to date and accurate. You're obviously gonna want to be in boating. I think that's the standard one. but you're gonna go to your body of water. Let's see how long it takes me to find it. All right, so we've arrived at Beulah Lake. And now this isn't the best example, like I said, this method isn't gonna work 100% of the time, but most times it's very helpful. It's even helpful just to see the map of the lake anyways if you're gonna go there. But it's blocked out, but I'm guessing, but judging that it's 6 feet here, 7 foot there, that's real close to the point. If I cross-reference it to here, that means it's gonna be at least 6 foot here, and I can tell by the water clarity, the darkness of the water again, because this water is decently clear, that it's going to be deep enough there to hold fish. I'm guessing this is anywhere in between 3 to 5 foot, and that's more than deep enough to hold fish. So hope you guys enjoyed these quick little tips. You know, I got sick of telling people to just go around and go on Google Maps and look around until you can find ponds. You can do much better research than that. It's going to help you out big time in the long run, especially finding where these big fish live. You can find those more secluded ponds that are old and that have been there for a while and have big fish. Hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to like and subscribe for more.